How do you manage stress? Welcome to Tea at Taxevity, where you get insights from insiders, our many clients and friends. I'm Pramod Sharma, the actuary at Taxevity. I help people who care about sustainable financial independence harness the power of life and health insurance. Our guest today is Betty Franklin, the author of Guts. Betty, what do you do when you're not being interviewed?
Pramod, thank you for having me. What I do when I'm not being interviewed, I'm a registered nurse who became a speaker, author, and life coach.
And we're talking about stress today,
Yes.
and that background helps in our topic.
Yes, because what I focus on a lot is stress in people's lives and how to manage it, how to create balance in it, and to make wiser choices.
What causes stress in our lives?
Life causes stress. The busyness in it, various different components cause us stress.
And what impact does stress have on us?
A large impact, and what happens when we're stressed, it causes our bodies to release chemicals. It actually ignites the fight or flight response in our bodies, and the fight or flight response is a human response that everybody has, and it is a response that helps us function and get away from danger when it arises, and helps us deal with deadlines and different challenges we have in our life. But stress, if we have too much of it and it's ongoing, the chemicals that are released just become this chemical cocktail that increases our heart rate, our blood pressure, our reactions, and different chemicals start flowing. And if we don't stop it, it eventually can lead to physical discomfort and to disease.
Mm-hmm. And those are things we definitely want to avoid.
Yes, most definitely.
Do you feel that people are more stressed these days than they were in the past?
People are busier, and that busyness causes more stress. Almost anybody you talk to say, I'm so busy, and they're not taking the time to rest and take better care of themselves.
In your book, Guts, you identify 6 areas in our lives in which we can face stress. Family is one of the areas, and you identify the issue of being disconnected. What do you mean by that?
Well, we all want family relationships. A lot of people say family's so important to me, but we're disconnected as families now. People are, you come home and we don't even eat together many times, or people eat different meals. So that just as one example is how we're disconnected. You sit at the dinner table, or kids are texting and they're on their cell phones, but they're not engaged with each other. You see, sometimes you go to a restaurant and you see couples together and one's on the cell phone. And how can you talk to somebody or build a relationship when they're not there? They're not engaged.
Those are good points. I don't want to say if any of those things happen in my family, but I've heard of those things happening. Yeah. And is there a tip that you can give us to help deal with the issue?
Well, because people's lives are busy, they're doing different things, and people have different activities going on. Like, that's another disconnect, because there's different sports things and different meetings and different maybe activities that people do. To make a point of having one meal together a week, and just commit that everybody commits to it, and that they're there so that they can connect about their week and about their day.
Do you think that one meal a week is enough?
No, but it's a start.
Okay.
It's a start, and if you're already doing one meal, like there's only one meal, aim for 2 meals a week. Aim for 3 meals a week. It just to get you connected again.
Mm-hmm. Another spoke you identify is fitness, and there I was thinking it would be about exercise, etc. But you talk about mental fitness also.
Yes, because our thoughts, like we have over 60,000 thoughts a day, and I ask people in my workshops, like, what type of thoughts are they? Are they positive thoughts or are they negative thoughts? And Are they aware what's causing those or what leads to possibly negative thoughts? A simple thing is be aware of what you're listening to, what you're exposed to. Are you listening to the news before you go to bed at night and waking up listening to it? Are you meeting at the office and everybody's talking negative about somebody who sits at the desk 3 rows over or whatever? It's just, what are you feeding your mind? What kind of music are you listening to? What are you reading? What kind of things are you reading? Just to be aware of it's kind of bad things in, bad things out.
Right. So I gather your tip would be just to be aware of what you're feeding your
Yes,
mind then.
be aware of what you're feeding your mind.
Another element you talk about is the importance of friends.
Yes.
And how we might not be spending the right time with the right people.
Well, I talk about pick your friends wisely. Are your friends naysayers? Are they saying, oh, you wanna do something new, and they're kind of saying, oh, you couldn't do that. That's going to be too hard. Like, you need people and friends in your life who support your interests and support what you want to do and go. So just be aware of the type of people that you choose as friends. And I'm not saying don't have them as friends, but you might want to minimize the time that you're spending, or decrease the amount of time that you're spending with them.
Another element is finance, and you raise the question of how much money is enough.
Yes. Finance is an issue when it comes to like stress, because it's very important in our lives. And one of the things that I mention in my workshops is that we don't go to a doctor and tell them that we're having financial issues or financial problems. We'll go tell them that maybe our stomach's upset or we can't sleep at night, and then he deals with that. He gives you something for that particular issue. But finance is it's very important. People can deal. For some people, $50,000 is enough, and others $500,000 isn't enough. Like like you deal with people's finances, and people who are making $500,000 a month, sometimes they're living paycheck to paycheck, and the person who's making $50,000, well, they're managing to save a little bit each month, maybe like $20, $30, $40, $50 a month, because they know how to manage it better, and it works better for them.
Yeah, people are very different.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Another element that you identify is the issue of fun.
Fun, yes. We all need to stop and rest and laugh and play. And one of the key things is, as I said earlier, people are so busy. And one of the things when you say, I'm too busy to do that, it may be, I'm too busy to take a rest. And that might be, you might need to just do it. Just be aware that you're saying it, and take the time to do something about it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But it just seems that when you are that busy, you really don't feel you have time.
I know. It's put your priorities in place, and is it important for you to do everything you're busy with? And maybe you need to stop and ask yourself, what can I take off this list?
And then the sixth element that you write about in your book is the issue of faith. And you talk about the issue of low self-esteem. Yes,
and having faith and belief and trust in yourself. And one of the simplest ways things is people will say, oh, I can't do that, or maybe I'm not smart enough to do that, or I'm too old to do that, or I don't have enough education to do that. It's just to tell yourself, I can find a way to do this. I can do it. It's not beyond me. I've done this and this, and I'm capable. And so it's just kind of changing your mindset.
What does GUTS stand for in the title of your book?
GUTS stands for Get Uncomfortable to Succeed. So it takes work to change things. We talked about the 6 elements that cause stress in our lives. My message is to create awareness about stress and what fully impacts it. And then once you're aware, you need to do the work to improve upon it. So to do the work means you might have to change, you might have to get a bit out of your comfort zone, and so you need to get uncomfortable to succeed in living a healthier, more balanced and abundant life.
That is a clever title. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
Why did you decide to write a book?
Why? As I said, I'm a nurse. I'm a registered nurse who became a speaker, author, and coach. I worked over 30 years on the front lines of healthcare, and I've seen many great advancements in the time from the time I had graduated. And cancer's no longer a death sentence. Treatments and medications help people live a lot longer. Surgeries, people aren't in the hospital for surgeries for a week or 2 weeks anymore. So with all these advancements, I kind of thought as the years went on, we'd be a healthier, a better, like we wouldn't be as sick, but are we a healthier society?
It doesn't seem like
No,
it for some reason.
Chronic disease is rampant, and many people are living with diminished health. So what's missing? We must be missing something, and just from different things that I saw with my clients or my patients, working in an institutional setting and then working in a home care setting, stress, the different stresses in our lives, I found, like they even say that 80% of disease is stress related. Well, what causes stress? Stress happens when our needs aren't met. So those 6 elements that we spoke about, we need family, we need relationships, we need to be physically fit, we need and emotionally and mentally fit, we need friends in our lives, we need finances to help us buy the food, shelter, and clothing. And if that's jeopardized, then that causes stress. If we're not taking time to have fun, to relax and play and laugh, that causes, our bodies need to rest. And if we don't have faith in ourselves, the faith component I talk about faith in ourselves, the people in our lives, the process of time, and a higher entity, a higher spirit or a God. If we don't, all those areas can cause us stress, and so it's putting it all. It's creating that awareness with people that, oh, I'm sick, or instead of, oh, I just have cancer, or I just had a heart attack, to look at what's the root cause. And disease is a process. It does not happen overnight. It is something that can happen over 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And choices you make today can greatly impact your health and your life later on. So my message, and it's basically, I moved my nursing career from a career of taking care of people who are sick to basically helping them become more aware of what can keep them healthier and ultimately keep them out of the hospital so that they can live a full, vibrant life.
What you're doing is something very important. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
What's the best way for people to reach you?
They can reach me through my website, bettyfranklin.com, or my company name is Let It Begin With Me, so I have that website, letitbeginwithme.ca.
And where can they get your book?
The simplest way is through my website or to go to amazon.ca.
Thanks very much for dropping by.
Okay, thanks, Pramod.
Thanks for joining us for Tea at Taxevity. The Taxevity Insurance Advisory helps you understand insurance and bridges gaps in your coverage. There's no premium for peace of mind. How healthy is your insurance?